Morning light stretches across the cobblestones of Brussels. Golden sun spills between historic buildings near the Grand Place. The air carries the scent of fresh waffles, warm sugar, and strong cocoa. A quaint outdoor cafe sits just off the square. Floral boxes overflow from iron railings. A chalkboard menu stands near the entrance with handwritten specials. Gaufres maison, chocolate child, pets welcome. The family approaches and is guided to a small table beneath a striped awning. A water bowl is placed on the ground before they even sit. Chairs shift softly against stone. Max settles beneath the table near Dad's chair. Luna rests close beside Mom. Bella positions herself with a clear line of sight to both the table and the kitchen door. A smiling server steps forward, holding menus in one hand and a small tray in the other. Server.
Bienvenue, and for our little gourmets, we have something special prepared.
Mom.
Well, that already sounds promising.
Dad.
I think we chose the right calf.
The morning hum of Brussels continues around them, cups clinking, soft conversation drifting between tables. Mom's plate arrives first. A golden waffle rests neatly on porcelain, steam rising from its crisp edges. Dad receives a thick mug of cocoa, rich and dark. Mom lifts her fork. Mom.
This looks almost too perfect to cut into.
Dad lifts his mug carefully. Dad.
If this tastes as good as it smells, we may never leave.
Before they begin, the server kneels gently beside the table and places 3 small ceramic plates on the ground. On each plate rests a carob truffle shaped like a bone. Names are piped across the top in soft yogurt icing. Max, Luna, Bella, server.
For our distinguished guests.
Bella.
That is absolutely my name written in frosting.
Max.
I appreciate the personalization.
Luna.
It smells sweet, but not overwhelming.
The server steps away as the pups examine their plates. Max circles his plate once before lowering his nose carefully to inspect the truffle. Bella leans slightly toward his plate. Max.
I would advise maintaining appropriate plate boundaries.
Bella.
I was simply verifying quality control.
Bella redirects her attention to her own truffle and takes an enthusiastic bite. Dad notices her shifting gaze upward toward the whipped cream on his cocoa. Dad.
Nice try. We're sticking to the pup-approved menu today.
Bella.
I respect the decision. I just don't fully agree with it.
Luna eats hers slowly, measured and calm. Bella glances toward Luna's plate. Luna.
I believe this one is already spoken for.
Max.
An organized dessert system benefits everyone.
Mom and Dad laugh softly as crumbs gather neatly beneath the table. Around them, other patrons smile at the trio. At a nearby table, another dog parent raises their coffee cup in quiet acknowledgement. Dad.
Bella appears to be on a mission to sample the entire country.
Mom.
We may need to start labeling plates with stronger security measures.
Max.
I support a structured dessert protocol.
Luna.
Or we could simply practice sharing politely.
Bella.
Sharing is acceptable, depending on portion size.
The cafe feels welcoming and unhurried. Conversations blend in French, Dutch, and English. The square beyond the terrace hums with life. Sunlight brightens the gold-trimmed facades surrounding the grand place. Plates empty. Cocoa cools. The morning deepens into late-day energy. Max lowers himself comfortably near Dad's shoes. Luna watches pedestrians crossing the square. Bella remains alert in case another treat appears unexpectedly. Mom looks toward the historic buildings beyond the caf. Mom,
If this is how Belgium starts the day, I can't imagine what the rest has waiting.
Dad,
We've got statues, stories, and probably more chocolate ahead.
Max,
I am prepared for structured sightseeing.
Luna,
I'm ready to see where the streets lead.
Bella.
As long as they lead somewhere delicious.
Leashes are gathered. Chairs shift back into place. The family steps away from the terrace and toward the open square. The grand place rises before them. And this time, it's not just about waffles. Brussels greets them with sweetness and sunlit stone. 3 satisfied pups. 2 happy parents. 1 city ready to unfold. Next up, statues, selfies, and sniffs. The Belgian Barkventure continues. Midday sunlight spills across the grand place in Brussels. Gold-trimmed guild halls shimmer against a bright blue sky. Flower stalls add bursts of color along the square's edges. Musicians play beneath ornate windows, their melodies drifting across cobblestones worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. The family steps into the square together. Pigeons scatter lightly as pedestrians pause to admire the architecture. Mom kneels beside the pups near the center of the square. Dad steps back several paces and raises his phone, adjusting the angle carefully to frame the gold fades behind them. Max sits upright and still. Luna positions herself close beside Mom. Bella shifts slightly at the edge of the frame, just as the camera steadies. Dad.
Hold steady, team. This one's going in the travel album.
Mom.
Okay, everyone look noble.
Bella.
I am noble. I'm also very photogenic.
Bella moves at the last second, tongue out, eyes wide. The camera clicks. A passerby pauses nearby, smiling. Passerby.
Très mignon. They look ready for the Brussels calendar.
Mom.
We'll accept that title proudly.
The square hums with energy as the family gathers themselves and continues walking. They turn down a narrow alley where crowds gather around a small fountain statue set behind a decorative railing. The mannequin Piss stands modestly at the center, drawing amused glances and raised phones from visitors. Dad steps slightly closer, reading the nearby plaque. Dad.
Legend says this little statue once saved the city by putting out a fire.
Mom.
That is not the kind of hero story I was expecting.
Max approaches carefully within leash lengths, observing the statue with steady concentration. Max.
I admire the confidence. Very committed to the role.
Bella positions herself beside the statue's railing, standing tall as if ready for her own monument. Mom.
I see someone auditioning for Fountain of the Year.
Bella.
I believe I could handle the responsibility.
Luna lowers her nose briefly near the base of the fountain, then lifts her head toward a drifting scent from further down the alley. Luna.
I'm more interested in whatever smells like warm waffles.
Dad.
Priorities, always solid.
The family shares a laugh before moving back toward the wider streets. They wander through nearby lanes lined with lace shops and chocolate boutiques. Windows display glossy prolines arranged like small works of art. Murals spill color down brick walls, turning alleyways into open-air galleries. Mom pauses at a souvenir stand and picks up a small plush dog wearing a red beret and holding a tiny replica of the mannequin Piss statue. Mom.
Should Bella add this to her toy collection?
Dad lets out a quiet laugh. Dad.
Only if she promises not to reenact the statue at home.
Bella.
No promises.
Max.
I recommend we keep historical recreation symbolic.
Luna.
I think it's charming.
Mom sets the plush back gently, and the family continues down the cobblestone path. Soon, the scenery opens wide at Parcs du Quinquinaire. Expansive green lawns stretch toward a grand arch rising proudly against the sky. Trees sway lightly in the afternoon breeze. The family steps onto the grass. Leashes remain secure as the pups move with renewed energy. Bella picks up speed immediately, circling within her allowed space. Luna trots steadily toward a shaded patch near a tree. Max surveys the open lawn before beginning a measured jog. Nearby, locals walk their own dogs. Brief nose-to-nose greetings occur within leash reach. Tails wag politely. A golden retriever approaches with playful enthusiasm. Bella.
I accept your challenge to a friendly sprint.
Max.
Please remember spatial awareness.
Luna.
This feels like a good place to run.
Laughter carries across the grass as the dogs exchange playful movement within their limits. Mom and Dad settle onto a sun-warmed bench nearby, holding cool drinks as they watch. Dad?
Brussels really does have everything. Chocolate, history, and happy dogs.
Mom?
And plenty of room to enjoy it all.
The afternoon light softens slightly as the park hums with easy joy. The pups return toward the bench, breathing gently after their play. Spring grass clings lightly to their paws. Mom scrolls through the earlier photo on Dad's phone, the grand place shining behind their smiling faces. Mom.
Today felt golden. Busy in the best way.
Dad.
Tomorrow, maybe chocolate making for us and countryside exploring for them.
Max.
I am very interested in the countryside portion.
Bella.
If there are fields, I am ready.
Luna.
I think I'll like wherever it is.
The park settles into late afternoon calm. The arch stands tall behind them as they gather leashes and prepare to leave. Belgium has welcomed them warmly, and they are far from finished exploring. Behind them, Brussels glows with history and humor. Ahead, Bruges and beyond, where canals shimmer, and every medieval turn promises another paw print in the story. The Belgian Barkventure continues. Perfect. Morning light spills across Mark Square in Bruges. Horses pull carriages over cobblestones, hooves echoing gently between pastel guildhouses. Gothic towers rise above the square, their shadows stretching long across the stone. The family steps into the heart of the city. The belfry bells ring in the distance, steady and clear. Max walks with measured pace, nose lifted slightly as he takes in the air. Luna moves calmly beside Mom, ears adjusting with each bell chime. Bella circles briefly near a statue at the edge of the square, tail moving in wide arcs as pigeons scatter. A passerby pauses, smiling at the trio.
She's the spirit of Bruges.
Mom.
She does seem to think she owns the square.
Bella.
I'm simply embracing local culture.
Max.
With considerable enthusiasm.
Luna.
It suits her.
Narrator. The square hums with life as they continue forward. They turn down a narrow lane, lined with brick facades and flower-framed windows. Ivy drapes along small bridges, arching over quiet canals. Reflections ripple gently below. Mom pauses briefly at one of the bridges. Mom?
It feels like stepping into a storybook.
Dad?
Or maybe writing ourselves into one.
Max moves deliberately along the cobblestones, pausing occasionally within leash reach as he studies the ground. Luna leans slightly toward the canal railing, watching swans glide beneath the bridge. Bella leads a step ahead, nose working constantly as new scents drift past. The city feels both historic and alive. A turn into a small square reveals a lively street market decorated with colorful bunting. Handmade crafts fill wooden stalls. Wagging tails move between visitors' legs. Signs advertise handmade collars, Belgian bandanas, and fresh-baked bone-shaped waffles. An artist paints pet portraits at one corner of the square. Mom steps toward a display of matching collars. Mom.
What do we think about coordinated accessories?
Bella.
I support anything that enhances my public presence.
Max.
As long as it remains functional.
Luna.
I would not object to something simple.
A vendor offers Bella an extra biscuit after a brief introduction. Max selects a small carob and honey mini bone from a tray offered at paw level. Luna receives a tiny bow tie from another vendor who adjusts it gently before stepping back to admire the result. Vendor.
For elegance like that, only the finest.
Mom.
She'll wear it proudly.
The square fills with laughter and soft chatter as they continue exploring. Later, as the afternoon light softens, the family boards a small pet-friendly canal boat. The vessel glides away from the dock, water parting quietly at its bow. Moss-covered bridges pass overhead. Flowers spill from balconies. A guide speaks softly about medieval history as the boat moves through narrow waterways. Max sits close beside Dad, posture steady. Luna positions herself near the edge, watching her reflection ripple in the water below. Bella stands slightly forward within her leash length, scanning the canal ahead. The city floats by in calm silence. A swan approaches, gliding gracefully beside the boat. Its white feathers catch the fading light as it moves effortlessly across the canal. Bella's attention locks immediately. Bella.
I believe I have identified a potential new friend.
Max.
Proceed with extreme diplomacy.
Bella leans slightly toward the edge of the boat as the swan passes closer. The boat shifts gently with her movement. Before the balance changes further, Luna steps forward and places a steady paw against Bella's side. Bella.
I was fully in control.
Mom.
Luna saves the day again.
Dad.
Headline avoided. Bruges Swan versus Brave Pup remains a peaceful alliance.
Luna.
Someone has to maintain stability.
The swan continues past, unbothered. The boat steadies once more. The boat passes beneath its final stone arch as the sky fades into rose and lavender. Petals drift across the canal's surface. Swans move in quiet pairs along the water. Max shifts closer to Dad's leg. Luna rests near Mom's knee. Bella watches the canal behind them as the swan disappears from view. Dad.
Bruges really does feel like a fairy tale.
Mom.
And next stop, something higher up. Maybe with a little alpine twist.
Max.
Mountains suggest new terrain for observation.
Luna.
I'm curious already.
Bella.
As long as it's exciting, I'm ready.
The boat returns to the dock. The family steps carefully back onto cobblestones as twilight settles fully over the canal. Bruges hums softly behind them. The fairy tale continues. And somewhere beyond Belgium, the mountains are calling. From cobblestone squares to quiet canals, their journey deepens with every step. Belgium has offered history, humor, and heart. And the road ahead promises even more wonder. The Belgian Barkventure rolls on. Evening settles gently over Rosenhood-Kai. The canal reflects the fading sky in soft shades of rose and lavender. Flower-covered balconies lean toward the water, their colors dimming in twilight. The air cools, and footsteps along the cobblestones grow fewer. The family approaches a wooden bench beneath a tree, whose branches sway lightly in the breeze. The water below glimmers with the last light of day. Mom and Dad sit, shoulders easing as they lean back against the bench. Max positions himself close to Dad's foot. Luna stretches along the edge of the bench near Mom's leg. Bella curls into a tight circle on the cobblestones nearby, tail resting over her nose. The city hum softens around them. The pace of the day slows completely. Mom looks out across the canal. Mom.
It's hard to believe we've already been to Paris, Bavaria, Amsterdam, and now here. Each place really does feel like its own little world.
Dad nods slowly. Dad?
And it's not just the cities. It's how we've experienced them together. Even the Pups have their own souvenirs, just not the kind you pack in a suitcase.
A quiet laugh escapes them as memories surface. Mom?
Bella on that airport cart still makes me smile.
Dad?
Max memorizing airplane safety instructions, like he was part of the crew.
Mom?
And Luna in Paris, with the maps. She's grown braver every stop we make.
The mention of the Belgian Café brings another smile. Dad?
And today, the cafe, the treats, the boat ride.
Mom?
And Luna steadying Bella near the Swan.
Their laughter fades into a soft pause. The silence that follows feels full rather than empty. Lanterns flicker to life along the canal, casting warm reflections across the water. A swan glides beneath a low stone bridge in the distance. The scent of evening air and old brick settles around them. Bella's paws shift slightly in her sleep. Max releases a slow breath beside Dad's shoe. Luna opens one eye briefly, glancing toward the canal before closing it again. The bench remains still beneath them. The moment holds. No one feels the need to speak. The magic of travel lingers, not in movement, but in quiet presence. In the steady weight of a leash in hand. In the warmth of a familiar shoulder beside you. The family remains on the bench, unhurried. The canal drifts softly. They simply exist in the stillness. Together, a single star appears above the rooftops as the sky deepens into blue. Dad lowers his voice. Dad?
I heard the mountains are calling next.
The Pups do not rise, but their ears shift at the sound of his voice. Tails move once against the stone. Mom smiles faintly. Mom.
Then we'll answer.
The lanterns glow steadily behind them. The canal hums its quiet lullaby. Bruges offers them one final moment of peace before the journey continues. Beyond the rooftops, beyond the lantern light, the Alps await. Bruges has given them more than sights and stories. It has given them stillness. And from that stillness, the next adventure begins.